All right, let's put some 3D glasses on for Elio. So this is probably the one animated movie that's been like delayed for a year, and I don't think because of COVID, because a lot of things behind the screen with the writing and directing. Did they get a solid package out the door? Let's find out. Chase Lehocky here, with the blue futon, reviewing Elio 3D. So what's up? Pretty simple premise. You have a boy who feels like he doesn't belong on Earth and he wants to get abducted by aliens. However, he does, but when he gets up there, shenanigans ensues, and he's got to figure out what to do to either save Earth or save this colony of different aliens that are kind of like the guardian of the galaxy in its own unique way. So I'm talking about the 3D. I thought it was pretty good. It's above average 3D, so forewarn, if you are curious of buying the extra $3-4 surcharge, I do think it might be worth it for a decent amount of scenes. Every time there's a water scene, it felt right. You had some 3D effects that were really good pop out, especially a slow motion and or scene that's like stopped, and you have like water like coming out like raindrops. So that was pretty cool. So you get that effect as well. The depth effects, I really wasn't feeling it. So it was mostly the pop out that was more predominant in this movie than the depth effects. So, but what I'm seeing with the actual 3D showtimes, very, very minimal compared to How to Train Your Dragon. So if you could find it, sure. But is it really, really needed? No. But if you're a 3D entrepreneur, even that makes no sense, sure. The movie itself, I think it's a very serviceable family movie with a decent message and a unique look at the movie when dealing with like the Air Force, this kid, aliens out of space, and trying to have friends. And can he have friends on Earth as well as aliens out of space? But again, with a lot of Disney movies, I'm like rewatching. There's not a lot of villains, and we could go back to we could go back to Encanto, then we could go back to like Moana 2, this. What was the last 3 Disney movie? Was it Moana 2? Maybe. But you kind of get what I'm getting at. There's no real bad guy or bad girl that you're trying to root for. Here, you have a bad guy-ish, but that's more of a subplot of this movie about family connectivity. And so it's like, okay, decently bad guy, but not really. So that kind of really bugged me the wrong way when dealing with Disney and what they do with these type of movies. Also, the animation was fine, but it didn't feel real Pixar. It didn't feel like it was out of the box, like something I've never seen before. So that was kind of a bummer with all these different movies like Bad Guys and other movies where you're just like, okay, they're trying to do something different. This one didn't really feel different. So it's kind of a bummer as well. And you could kind of feel the aginess of it, where you could tell there was a delay in this movie. And like I said, there's technically three directors. The first director, I think, did Good Dinosaur, Coco, and something else. And, what is happening is something happened behind the scenes with the writing, where the direction was going to go. So they switched it to the direction of Turning Red, which Turning Red is another story with no bad guy. And so that's also an issue with me. And you're trying to get what I'm getting at too, is where a lot of Disney movies nowadays, they really aren't resonating with the audience. Like, did you forget about Turning Red? Did you forget about Luca? Did you forget about Soul? You try to get what I'm getting at? Okay, you sure you have Inside Out 2? Oh, also Inside Out 2, there is no bad guy there. It's mostly just emotions, angsting it out. Okay, but the message, I think, is a very prominent message about belonging, family, and everything like that. There is a sad story about this with why Elio is how he is. And I think that's very solid in who this Major is, which I'm thinking this kid was never that young. So when they first met, she should have probably been a captain. Sure. Also, you could tell this is very old is the ID identifiers where her patch says space. That is not allowed anymore in the military. So that's another reason how you know that this is kind of a old-ish movie, or they just couldn't take it out of post-production. Also, just like the military aspect of it is kind of laughable where, people leave their computers without their CAT cards taken out. Like, take your CAT cards out. because either A, security manager's going to be really, really pissed off, or your cat card is either going to be like taped to a ceiling tile and you're going to have to struggle to get it back. And if you lose your cat card, you don't want that because your commander's going to have to be like write up a thing, and you don't want that. You don't want that. So it's kind of funny on that level. I know I'm being sarcastic, but I mean, there were cool things where you see like the identifier patches as well as like the MagCom patches at this fake Air Force base. So it was kind of cute there. Having the worm as the friend is also kind of odd. Like, there's no, like, I know they're trying to make the worm, like, ugly and have a friendship that way, but it kind of is weird because you kind of want a cute character to, like, attach to. Like, Tangled, you have the horse. Moana, you have the chicken and the pig. Here you have a ugly worm monster with hundreds of teeth. So I understand what they're going for. It's like, oh, it doesn't matter what you look like. You still could get friends. But, yeah, it's hard to connect, and with the popcorn bucket of the monster, no one's buying it. So that's kind of a red flag right there as well. But again, I'm going back to the message of the movie where it's very positive about finding yourself, who you should belong to, and just family in general, and connectivity with people around you. And I think that's a very solid message with how we are with society, and we're seeing a lot of people on their phones, or just kind of be singular, or just not wanting to talk to other people. I do feel like this kind of goes the opposite way of like, hey, get to know your neighbor, get to know your friends, start talking to more people instead of just being on your phone. Even though the phone message is really not in it, I do kind of understand what they are going for. So overall, Elio 3D. 3D is not bad. If you can find it and you're a 3D, you love 3D, I would go for it. But if you're just, you're on the fence, you don't need to go for it. The animation, you've seen it before. You've seen this story before. Yes, it's cute. Yes, there's a good family message. But I think at a point now with Disney and Pixar, with movies like this, I do think they need to add a little bit of oomph to it to let kids and parents really want to do a rewatchability factor. Because Elio and a rewatchability factor, I don't know if it's there. So Elio will receive a 3.5 out of 5 with Futons, which equals at 70%. We'll see the critics and user scores gave this one. Critics an 85% with 130. Nothing on the popcorn meter. I hate it. Audience score critic consensus. Capulated by its theme of building self-esteem, Pixar's latest comedic wonder Elio boasts a fantasyful world of original creations to dazzling effects. Sure, I could agree with that, but like I said, I think this is a lower Pixar movie, but it's still something I think the kids can enjoy. But kind of like Buzz Lightyear, will kids go back to this one as like, Mommy, put this on? Or will they be more like Zootopia? Probably Zootopia. 85-70. Chase out here, the Blue Futon. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know in this Bluetonian. You Blue Futonians. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. I don't care if you watch this today, tomorrow, a week from now, a month from now, a year from now. I love every single freaking one of you. Peace and love, peace and love. And speak about Zootopia. The Zootopia 2 trailer is pretty trash.